You spent 40 years breaking your back for a system that views you as nothing more than an aging, disposable expense on a spreadsheet. Did you really think your decades of loyalty would be rewarded with dignity? Wake up. While you were busy being a model citizen, the fine print in the 2026 Social Security updates was written specifically to keep people like you in the dark. It is not an accident that you are struggling. It is a calculated failure of information. But you don't have to stay a victim of the red tape. You can reclaim your financial future, and it starts by uncovering the hidden benefits they never told you were yours. Welcome to Senior Finance Alerts. We are not just another channel. We are your tactical command center for navigating these administrative shifts. For those born before 1966, the calendar has become a weapon. The administration is implementing subtle, unannounced adjustments to benefit structures that effectively erode your lifetime contributions. They rely on your silence, betting that you will accept whatever notice hits your mailbox without question. Think about it. Thousands of dollars slipping through the cracks annually because of rules buried in bureaucratic jargon. Whether you are like Sarah, who could maximize her widow benefits, or William, currently caught in a frustrating high-cost Medicare surcharge loop, the objective is the same: strip away the complexity. We translate the legalese into actionable strategy. We provide the shield you need to protect your hard-earned security. But what if the system has already miscalculated your baseline earnings for decades without your knowledge? Sarah Remington, a 74-year-old retired school teacher, sits at her kitchen table in Ohio, staring at a stack of notices from the Social Security Administration. Like millions of Americans born between 1943 and 1954, Sarah has been quietly operating under the assumption that the system automatically optimizes her payouts. She is a widow, and for years she has relied on her own modest retirement benefit, entirely unaware that she is legally entitled to a significantly higher amount based on her late husband's earnings record. The agency never reached out, they never initiated the transition. This is the silent reality for countless seniors whose rightful benefits are left unclaimed simply because the burden of discovery falls entirely on the individual. While Sarah navigates this bureaucratic fog, a secondary threat emerges. When retirees experience even a minor fluctuation in their annual income, it can trigger the IRMAA surcharge. This hidden mechanism artificially inflates Medicare Part B premiums, turning a slight shift in financial status into a monthly penalty that catches many off guard. It is a harsh intersection of policy and oversight. Seniors are caught in a trap where they are either missing out on their full survivor entitlement or being penalized by an automated surcharge that ignores the nuances of their retirement budget. If you think this is merely a glitch in the software, you are mistaken. It is a systemic reliance on administrative silence. Sarah finally gathered her courage and contacted the local office to rectify the discrepancy in her monthly check. She expected a professional correction. Instead, she was met with a cold, impenetrable wall of bureaucratic evasion, leaving her benefits slashed without a single clear explanation. The silence from the agency is not just frustrating, it is a calculated barrier to your financial independence. Stay tuned as we pull back the curtain on this. Imagine navigating a labyrinth where the exit moves every time you take a step. This is the reality for millions of Americans approaching retirement, caught in the complex web of the full retirement age, or FRA. Take William White, a former factory supervisor born in 1958. Like many, William assumed that reaching age 66 was his golden ticket to unreduced Social Security benefits. He spent months mapping out his life after labor, believing his monthly payout would be locked in at 100% of his earned value. However, the reality for those born between 1955 and 1959 is far from simple. It is not a fixed line in the sand, but a sliding scale that creeps upward by 2-month increments for every birth year. For someone like William, the system demands an additional wait time he never anticipated. It is a subtle, bureaucratic dance where claiming your benefits just a few months early triggers a permanent, irreversible reduction in you. Our monthly income. There is no reset button for this decision. Once you commit, the math is etched in stone for the rest of your life. This confusion is exactly why we created Senior Finance Alerts, to cut through the noise and provide the clarity you deserve. We are here to ensure you do not make the same costly errors that catch so many off guard. William spent weeks refining his financial projections, relying on the firm belief that his FRA was exactly 66. But upon cross-referencing his specific birth date with the latest agency schedules, he realized a devastating discrepancy of 8 months existed in his records. That small oversight fundamentally shattered his entire retirement strategy, leaving him staring at a future much leaner than he had ever dared to imagine. This exact mathematical trap is now closing in on the youngest tier of retirees, those born between 1960 and 1965, who are facing their own critical decisions right now. Take Laura Orth, born in 1964. Exhausted by the soaring costs of daily living, Laura is heavily tempted to throw in the towel and claim her benefits the moment she turns 62. To her, getting cash now feels like a logical escape. What she does not realize is that this emotional decision triggers a permanent 30% reduction in her monthly checks, a financial scar that will never heal. But if you think this is a minor monthly adjustment, you are missing the silent trap that catches thousands of families off guard. Here at Senior Finance Alerts, we analyze these numbers daily. That 30% haircut is not temporary. It is locked in for life. Yet there is a rarely discussed alternative. If Laura can resist the urge and wait until her true full retirement age of 67, she unlocks a powerful tool, the 6-month retroactive lump sum option. This rule allows her to receive half a year of benefits in one single massive check while locking in her maximum baseline rate. It is the ultimate escape hatch, but only for those who know how to play the clock. Laura thought she had it all figured out, believing the early sacrifice would eventually balance itself out over time. That illusion shattered this morning. Opening her mailbox, Laura pulled out an official agency statement containing a PER. The cold math on the page stared back at her, revealing that filing early would permanently drain over $100,000 from her lifetime wealth. Even if your calendar says you are years away from retirement, the invisible erosion of your benefits begins today. If you were born in 1966 or later, you are currently walking through a minefield of potential administrative errors. This isn't about distant planning. It is about the immediate reality of your W-2 reporting. Year after year, employers submit wage data to the Social Security Administration, and far too often, those records are incomplete or simply incorrect. The danger is silent but absolute. Over decades, those minor discrepancies compound into a permanent deflation of your future monthly payouts. Most Americans operate under the mistaken belief that the government's database is flawless. It is not. Without physical pay stubs or archived tax records from your early career, proving that you actually earned those missing credits becomes an impossible uphill battle once the trail goes cold. Time is your greatest adversary here. You must take command of your digital footprint right now. Creating your online My Social Security account is not merely a formality. It is the only way to audit your lifetime earnings record while you still have the power to rectify discrepancies. Think of it as a financial audit of your own existence. If you do not verify these figures today, you are essentially gambling with your future standard of living. But here's the part that keeps me up at night. Even the most diligent workers are discovering that their history isn't what they remember. A routine check of a 58-year-old's earnings history reveals an entire year of missing income from the late 90s. Subscribe to Senior Finance Alerts to ensure your records stay protected. Stop panicking and start preparing. When the system hits you with an unfair IRMAA Medicare surcharge due to a life-changing event like your retirement or the sale of your family home, you do not simply accept the bill. You fight back with precision. The administrative weapon you need is Form SSA 44. This isn't just a piece of paper. It is your formal request for a reconsidered premium based on your current actual income rather than outdated tax data from 2 years ago. Download the form directly from the Social Security website. Do not rely on third-party portals. When filling it out, specify your life-changing event clearly. If you retired, mark it and attach your proof of termination or retirement letter. If you sold a property, document the capital gains accurately. By submitting this, you are forcing the system to account for your new reality, effectively lowering those aggressive surcharges that were never meant to drain your fixed income. But the battlefield has shifted. Modern security measures, specifically two-factor authentication, are designed to protect your data but often end up locking you out entirely. Seniors are frequently trapped in a digital purgatory, staring at screens that demand a secondary code sent to a phone number that no longer exists. These digital hurdles are not just technical glitches, they are systemic barriers that keep you from your own benefits. This modern tragedy is keeping thousands from managing their healthcare accounts and OTC benefits. But if you think the administrative nightmare stops at the login screen, you haven't seen how deep the digital silence goes. William is currently staring at a blinking cursor. His authentication token expired. Can William successfully bypass the automated digital security blocks to submit his appeal before the strict deadline? William finally clears the digital fog. The screen flashes green, signaling his appeal has been submitted to the Social Security Administration. Silence turns into relief. By mastering the nuances of Form SSA.44 and successfully navigating the complex web of IRMAA surcharges, he has reclaimed his dignity and his hard-earned savings. Sarah, meanwhile, has successfully unlocked her rightful survivor benefits, a victory years in the making. Laura, armed with the knowledge of how a premature claim would have permanently slashed her future income, decides to hold off, protecting her long-term stability. These victories aren't just about money, they are about sovereignty. You hold the blueprint now. Verify your eligibility on the official portal, calculate the exact benefits regarding your full retirement age, and stay vigilant against unfair surcharges. It is a roadmap designed to keep your financial future secure despite the changing times of 2026 policies. But if you think the administrative landscape will simply sit still while you prepare, you are mistaken. This is only the beginning of a larger shift in how benefits are managed. We have synthesized the essential steps. Audit your accounts, verify your survivor status, and appeal when the system pushes back. This is your leverage. Do not let yourself be left in the dark as federal regulations evolve. Your family's prosperity depends on these actions, so share this knowledge with them immediately. Subscribe to Senior Finance Alerts to stay ahead of every regulatory shift before it impacts your household. The era of passive acceptance is over. Today marks the beginning of your proactive control. With their benefits fully secured, the family's financial future is finally protected against systemic silence. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and never forget that your legacy is something you have every right to defend.